Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacqueline. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacqueline at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, and we are celebrating a series of firsts here on the platform. Today, we have a brand new show for you. I am so excited about this. This is a show for women, by women, and about women. The title is A Woman's Prerogative. My role on this program is as moderator. We have an incredible group of panelists. I'm going to be bringing them out, and they will each have 3 minutes to introduce themselves, and then we'll learn why it is they're doing this show, why it's important to them, and then we'll get into a hot topic or two. How's that sound? All right. Joining me from all over the world, let's welcome our team. Welcome, JENETTA Barry. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Jacqueline. How wonderful to be here.
Nice to have you. Hello, CATHY Fulton. Welcome.
Hey.
Nice to see you.
How are you?
Welcome, Amber J. Lawson. Hello.
Woo! Here we go. Buckle up.
And welcome, Justina MUTALE. Nice to have you with us.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
Hello, hello. And welcome, DESZIREE Richardson. Hello.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And hello, Tracy. Nice to see you.
Hi to all you beautiful power ladies, and congratulations, Dr. Jacqueline, on all your accomplishments today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to share this screen, this stage with you. What I would love to do for our first show, as I mentioned to our audience, is to have you each introduce yourselves. And then going forward, all of your information will be on the website so that we will direct people to go there and contact you directly so that you can collaborate and build relationships and your own network with our audiences. So thank you again. I'm going to start with JENETTA Barry and the epiphany process.
Hello, everybody. My name's JENETTA Barry, and I actually created the epiphany process out of my greatest life test. I used to be a motivational speaker and for sales motivation, and I noticed that I was mostly out of integrity because people relied on my energy and taking my energy to feel fired up. But I didn't impart, or wasn't able to impart, life skills to them for them to do it for themselves. So I took myself away for a little while and worked on my intuitive side for quite a few years, actually. And then I noticed that the same thing was happening again, that people were coming to me and trusting my intuition. And after all, we're all intuitive. It's not an exclusive gift. Everybody has intuition. It's just that some people's dials are turned down and others are up. And again, they were relying on me rather than on their inner amazing wisdom. And and it was at about this time that I was questioning my integrity again on how I was helping people, that my greatest life test happened. And one Monday, I was putting in safekeeping house rules with my 16-year-old daughter, Jenny. She was breaking them, wasn't safe for her. It certainly wasn't great for her younger sister or for any of us as a family. And the talk escalated into an absolutely huge argument. She stormed out of my room beyond angry, saying that she was packing and leaving home. And it was after a little while that I realized, or I could sense something wasn't right. And I went to find her in her room, and I found her hanging with a broken neck in her shower. And it put my whole life into ground zero in that moment. Every part of my life just flattened down like a house of cards. It was unbelievable. And it took me a time. I tried to carry on as normally as I could. And 9 months after Jen died, I had a prophetic moment, which I call my crossing over moment, where I realized in that happening that I'd forgotten I had choice. And so in that knowledge, I then went, I do have choice. I don't need to be the mother of the child that committed suicide after we had an argument and have that label for the rest of my life. And I started looking and researching and studying for accurate ways to get through this great life test, because other modalities and therapies were helpful, but there were great missings in them. And I've been able to help people all over the world with this process. And you can contact me and have a look at more of what we do at theepiphanyprocess.com. And I really look forward to having some really candid chats with you. Thank you, Dr. Jacqueline.
Thank you so much, JENETTA. I'm really appreciative of you being here. And I am so wonderful, so blessed that you were able to come forward and share something that was so painful. And I know from working with you that you've had tremendous growth, and there's been all kinds of challenges along the way in your journey. And it takes a lot of courage to come forward and share your story, but you do a great job of it. And I'm just blessed to know you.
Well, I to you.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go over to Cathy Fulton, and I am muting everyone while the speaker is speaking, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay.
Hi, I'm Cathy Fulton, and I have my own interior design firm. We've been in business for 22 years now. And I got started, obviously, years ago when I got sick and tired of being told, I guess, basically what my worth was going to be. I got tired of someone else defining my salary. When I got out of college, I had the good fortune of being hired on with a pharmaceutical company. And I did that for years. But it's purely sales. It's also relationship building. And I got some of the best training and learned so many different skill set. But being in sales, they will change quotas. There's always kind of a different game going on. And I just got fed up with it and decided that I want to follow my passion. I want to design spaces that people love to live in. And so I just literally what felt like I was jumping off a bridge or a building and just started my own business. And it's probably the scariest thing that I ever did, because going from getting your paycheck once a month to having to basically pound the pavement and hope and pray that you get your next job. It's a daunting and very overwhelming feeling, but I would never want to turn back at this point. People always say, I mean, how do you do this? How do you work for yourself? Aren't you scared to death? And it's like, there's two ways to look at it. You can be an employee and you're always at risk for getting fired, right? But you're always going to be working and filling someone else's bank account. So being an entrepreneur, sure, any number of your clients can fire you at any time, but at least I'm filling my own bank account. And so anyone that I encounter, I mean, when people ask that question, I can always tell that they have a burning desire, that this is something that they want to do. They just don't quite have the courage to do it yet. And so when I put it into perspective like that, there seems to be a light bell that goes off when I start talking about the difference in whose bank account you're going to be filling. And people tend to start going to the other side, meaning it's not all that bad working for yourself. You just have to put things into proper perspective. So I'm delighted to be here. I'm so thankful for this opportunity, and I can't wait to talk with everyone.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Thanks for sharing your story. I keep getting this message about mute, and yes, everyone is muted, as I mentioned, just so you know, and when it's your turn to speak, they'll unmute you. So thank you for sharing your story. Amber J., you're up next. Yay. You have to unmute your own mic, I think.
All right. Hello, everyone. What an honor it is to be here. I am Amber J. Lawson, hailing from Raytown, Missouri, where Mama's family took place. I made a choice very early on that the more I did, the more value I would have in the world. And so I climbed the corporate ladder in order to make it in the world, to have all, and I was doing it like a man. Not that anything is wrong with the men I was surrounded by, but I was the only woman in the boardroom. Raise your hand if you can relate. Or the woman on the dais table, or flying around the planet, talking at these amazing locations about cutting edge technology and content. And I was surrounded by men. So that was my measure of success. I measured my success with my male counterparts. And I found myself working and grinding myself to the bone. And I knew there was something I was missing, something I couldn't put my finger on. And I've always been on a spiritual journey. There's always been some woo in me. But about 6 years ago, I went on a deep dive into my transformational journey and stepping into my emotional intelligence, turning within, healing myself, the things I didn't even know needed healing, exposing myself to new knowledge. And no fault of my family or my parents, they just didn't have this information. And I sought it out and I went and got it. And it opened up my eyes to what is available. My heart opened. It was finally safe to open my heart. Who can relate to that? Feeling that vulnerability was actually my superpower and not weakness. I remember when I was running all the content at AOL and a woman would cry, I just thought that was the end of the world. How dare you show your weakness? How dare you show your cards? And I equated my worth to climbing this ladder. So when I got access to this information, I said, I got to bring my sisters along with me. I reached back to grab my other goddesses who were sitting on the dais table, who wanted to come on a journey of full self-expression, to step into their power, not having to ask for permission, but knowing that we are here and meant to be here at this time with our divine talents. And that is what I do. I work with women to support them in stepping into their next chapter, their full self-expression, as wild and crazy as that may be, and or as purposeful and pointed as it may be. I also work with comedians. I run a nonprofit called Comedy Gives Back, and I am here to stir the pot on the women's prerogative. So watch out.
Fantastic. Woo, I love it. All right, we're going to move over to Desiree, and let's hear your story.
Wow. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on this amazing platform with these amazing women from all across the globe. I'm Desiree Richardson, let's say Dr. Desiree Richardson, and I specialize in women's empowerment because I enjoy, I'm fascinated to see women at their best, their boldest, their brightest. And this is the year of the women. Women are stepping into their greatness. They're standing in their power because there are many amazing women empowerment platform. And of course, with the new technology, is bringing us closer. We're getting the word out there. We're creating awareness. We want to build women up. There are so many women going through so many difficult moments across the world. And I'm so happy that I've created these amazing platforms to break the ice, to bring women together as a decisive force in the universe. Because when we come together, magical things happen. And when we support and uplift each other in authentic ways, we are creating a magic in the world. We are setting the pace. We are being the catalyst for change for the new generations to come. We are making a difference. We are making an impact. So I will celebrate women. And this is something that I always used to enjoy doing from a couple of years ago. Since coming to the UK, I had an event called Women Involvement Charity Concert. We raised money for Future Sense Charity. So this is something that was close to my heart, working in humanity, working with women, bringing women together to create concerts to showcase their talents, their skills, and their abilities. And then I continue with the journey to empower women, and not only to empower them, but to celebrate them at the Women of Heart Awards, to celebrate their achievements, to share their story, because I believe every woman's story is different, but equally needs celebrating. And we need to spread love, peace, and harmony in our world. We need to bring women together, and we need to remind women that they are all unique, they are all special, they are all worthy. There is enough abundance in the world for every woman. So we should not overlook each other or step on each other. We should hold each other hands, pull each other up the ladder, push each other up the ladder, or hold your sister hand in hand and say, come on with me on this journey. So I believe in women's empowerment. I specialize in this because I want women to understand that they are beautiful on the inside. It doesn't matter how you were born in the world, but how you're going to build, lead, and leave your legacy behind, which is crucial in today's shaping society. And I'm happy that we are here to bring the issues and, of course, to deliver our messages so that we can help the world to transform and to heal. I also use my voice as a vehicle to help transform lives, to bring healing, to bring understanding that nothing is impossible. There's always a possibility. So never underestimate your ability to shine in a world where magical moments are so filled up for each and every one of us. So once again, thank you so much. I am grateful. I am full of gratitude to be here, and just hope that all of our messages and our conversations will reach every corner of the world, and to celebrate women, to uplift them, to empower them, and of course, to give them a hand and support them in all their deeds and endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Justina, you're up next.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jacqueline. I come from African, and I could proudly say that I come from a background of very powerful, strong, assertive women, women that have always defied the gender dynamics. From my mother's side, a woman rules the kingdom. So the men of that kingdom bow before that woman. On my father's side, although very patriarchal, that did not stop one strong, powerful woman to start a movement that shook the political foundations of my country, Zambia. So I grew up knowing that women were the power behind the throne. I grew up knowing that women were the guardians of humanity. I grew up knowing that women can shape the world. And although the stories of women, especially the African woman, has been told as in the shadows of the husband or the father, from my mother's family, a woman from birth has her own name. She never takes the father's name, neither does she take the husband's name when she gets married. I've seen that this trend has only started now in other parts of the world, but from time immemorial. In my mother's kingdom, women maintain their names from the day she's born until she dies. She doesn't have to walk in the shadows of the husband, neither does she have to walk in the shadows of the father. So I was very surprised. I am a gender activist, gender advocate, and I was surprised in my advocating for gender to find these stories being told about why young women cannot be leaders because they cannot see any role models. And I went back to think, but where I come from, I've always grown back to know that women are fantastic leaders. Women have the power to shape the world. Women are natural born leaders and guardians of humanity. So, as a gender advocate, I had been, previous to starting my own work, I worked in what is called the Commonwealth Secretariat. It's similar to United Nations, but it's only for those, mostly for those countries that used to be colonies of the British Empire. And I worked in the gender section, advocating for gender equality, gender mainstreaming, and anything to do with empowering women. I left and started my own thing. And after, while I was there, every year I attended the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. And this is where the world got together to talk about how far women have come, what they have done, and when can we achieve this gender equality that has eluded us for so many years. And in 2015, when we closed the Millennium Development Goals, I was very surprised to find myself marching in what was yet again called Historical March for Gender Equality. And I am a mother to a millennium baby. My daughter was born in the year 2000 when we started the Millennium Development Goals. So at the close, she was already 15 and going into 16 years. And I'm thinking, how long will it take women to keep marching for this gender equality? In my mind, I decided that if to actualize the Sustainable Development Goals, I do not want to see any more of my millennium baby or her peers marching for gender equality.
Thank you so much, Justina. I didn't want to cut you off. That was beautiful. All right, we're going to go over to Tracy. Tracy, welcome.
Hi, I was just amazed listening to all. I don't even want to talk now. I just want to listen to all these women with their amazing things that they're doing. That was a privilege. Thank you, Doctor, for bringing all these people together, because this is something else. So yeah, my name is Tracy LaMourie. I hail from Canada, up there to some of you around. Some of you. I work all over the world. I'm a publicist, which means I basically elevate the voices of other people, whether it's for not-for-profits or whether it's for their businesses, or to elevate their creative projects or their writing projects. And a lot of my focus is on elevating the voices of women and finding ways to break through the media for them, get them on stages. And a lot of it too, just like I'm listening to the same theme that a lot of us women have in the panel, is helping other women find ways to success. And a lot of that comes with, believing in themselves and opening doors for them and just showing them that other people have done it. And so I really look forward to hearing more from all of you guys, and especially from the person who was just before me, to speak more about that, that ignorance that we have about cultures like that where women have different positions. And I come from my family comes from French Canada, not as dramatic as that, but it's been traditional for decades there for women to keep their own name, which was their father's name, but they were born with their family name, but to not change their name when they got married. And I remember even, I grew up in Ontario, and it just never made sense. It wasn't even a political thing to me. It just seemed odd. Why would I want to change my name? It's my name. And I remember when I was 15 telling somebody, oh no, I'm not going to change my name when I get married. A family member, and they were, of course you will. Oh, you'll understand. When you grow older and fall in love, you'll want to change your name. And I, was really proud that I never wanted to do that. Like, I've been married for 28 years now. My name is the same name I was born with, TRACY LAMOURIE. And yeah, so that really struck me too, because we've dealt with, now it's becoming more accepted, but even here in Canada, where part of the country, Quebec, regularly did that. In English Canada, we got so much judgment for it over the years. I remember actually when we first got married, my husband went to work the next day, and somehow it came, or the next week, and somehow it came up that we got married, and I don't know how it came up that I hadn't changed my name, but it came up. And the co-worker said to him, literally said to him, "You let your wife keep her name?" And my husband Dave said, well, first of all, let doesn't really have anything to do with it. And secondly, why would I want to try to, brand her with my name? So anyway, I thought that was interesting. And yeah, I just thought that really struck me. So I'm on this show to support other women, to talk about my experiences, from, the little things to the crazy things that I'm able to do. And I hope that what people get out of my sometimes crazy story is that, no matter who you are, you can make it, you can do it. Just be, honestly, it just sounds trite, but seriously, believe in yourself, show up, find the opportunities, be there, say yes, and you'll never know what doors will open. That true story.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And thank you to each and every one of you who already kind of shared why it is that you're doing this show. I think that's great. So I think what we'll do now is we'll go into hot topics. I'm going to unmute everyone. And some of you have yourselves muted, so you have to unmute. And I'm going to go over to Amber J, who brought up a couple of hot topics, and I'm going to go backstage and let you guys do your show.
Well, thank you, Dr. Jacqueline. And before we launch into the hot topics I kind of brought up earlier, I'd like to go into the taking of the last name and get everyone's perspective, since we have so many different locations and histories and cultures in this conclave of goddesses, of women who come together. What is your perspective on that? I grew up in Raytown, Missouri. That's just what you did. I didn't get married. I mean, I've been engaged 3 times, so that's my story, right? I didn't take anybody's name, and I agree. Like, I very much self-identify with my own name. I am curious, Dr. Justina, how that is in your culture, and any thoughts about it as it's evolving, as we're growing.
Well, like I said, in my culture, from my mother's part of the family, a woman always carries her own name. From the time of birth, she's given her own feminine name, and she carries this name throughout her life. She doesn't even use the father's name as a surname, and she never uses the husband's name when she's married. Everybody calls her by the name she was given at birth, which is a feminine name. For me, I think that is very powerful, because it gives the woman ownership of herself. She doesn't have to stand in anybody's shadows, whether it's the husband to say, oh, I'm the daughter of so-and-so, or I'm the husband, I'm the wife of, this is my husband, or I'm the wife, or I am Mrs. this and that. It gives you ownership, and I think that's very powerful, because then you are responsible for all the things that you do out in the world, and also the credit comes to you for all the things that you do in the world, and you have the freedom of also being who you are and doing what you want, without thinking that it's going to taint my father's name or taint my husband's name. It's just me. This is Justina, and I can do this in the world. In fact, it does give you that superpower to venture into the world and be who you want to become.
100% responsible for 100% of your results, not being a victim to circumstance, but choosing who you get to be in the world. Tracy, what do you have to say to that?
I was just going to say, I had a question too, and I thought, so Dr. Justina, so is that like a tradition? Where does that name come from? Is it something that the women just think of? Is it like is it a first name? Is it just your first, explain that if you could, the naming.
I beg your pardon?
Traditional last name? Where does the name come from? The name that she's given on her own? Is it like something that the fact community makes up, or does it come from a historical? Like, I'm just really interested in how that works.
So, like I said, I come from Africa, so the idea of surnames is almost foreign to us. So it is the first name. So everybody, then you would be called by that name. It's just one name. You didn't have to be son of, or daughter of, or wife of. You just wait.
build from there. You're there, and that's you, and you have your
and
whole
that
life
is
ahead
who
of you.
you were.
Love it.
Yeah. For me,
Very
that
cool.
isn't from my mother's family. For me, so Justina Mutale. Mutale is also my middle name. I could easily change it and just be called Mutale Mutale. If I were to take off the Justina is from the Christian part of the thing that came to Africa, and then we all got involved in that. So that's the Justina. But if I were to go back to my traditional setting, then I'll just be called Mutale Mutale.
Beautiful.
But
and I'm curious.
Yes.
I'm curious, Princess Dr. Desiree Richardson, holding a title, my guess comes from a family line, and names are important. How does that factor in?
Well, first and foremost, I want to talk about being married and being able to, as a woman, to have the choice to be able to choose or to leave your name that you were, given to by, from birth, from your mother, from your father. I think it's okay to have that choice to choose whether you want to, to have your husband's surname, or or to just keep your name. I think that women should always have the opportunity to have the freedom to have that choice. And of course, for my names, they were given to me. Well, not given to me. I actually was crowned with the princess title, and I also believe that titles are not to be, let's say, if you're not doing anything good with them, I mean, they're like nothing. So with these titles, I think that you have to embrace humanity and do work and be a service to humanity, because what a sense of having all of these titles, and of course you're not being able to use them for a good purpose. So I believe it's not about the status, it's about what's in your heart, and of course the things that you do with these statuses and these titles. Yeah, that means a lot.
Yeah, I really like that. And I agree. Being able to have that choice to even just change your name. I believe there's a national change your name day sometime during the year. To have that prerogative to be able to change it. And for me, I mean, I have a very unusual maiden name that got so mixed up. It's ancient Anglo-Saxon, and I didn't enjoy it that much. And I've been married twice, and my second name I didn't enjoy. I did take it on, but my second marriage, I really enjoyed it, and that's Barry. And although I've been divorced now for 18 years, JENETTA Barry rolls. And it's like I was always born with it. So I'm very comfortable in that skin, having changed it, having taken on another man's name, because it's how you decide what that does to you. So the fact that
it's all about what exactly what you're comfortable with and what makes you feel like yourself and what makes you.
Yes.
So it's not for, it's like with dress or anything. It's not for us women or anybody else to tell us women, any of it, each other how to be. It's for us to have and support each other in that freedom.
Exactly. And if you want to feel that you're being kind of owned by taking somebody else's name, then that's what you will be. But I never felt like that.
I have I've recently been reading a book about consciousness, and the first question they ask, they say, like, who are you? And they talk about something where you say, I am so and so's wife. And the question that they pose, were you not a person before you became this person's wife? Who are you truly before you have all these titles that are imposed on you from society? That is a psychological and philosophical and consciousness question. But the importance with that is that in introducing yourself and saying, oh, I am Mrs., for example, Michelle Obama. Who were you before you became Michelle Obama? Were you not a person then? Is it that now your only identity is because you did get married to Barack Obama? Couldn't you have
And
been in the world as
you
your
are a
own
mother, and you are a
Exactly.
wife, and you have different phases of your life and
Of your
different
life,
seasons, right? And
Yes.
it's okay to shed the skin of that season and step into the next one also. Yes. Have you each had new chapters of your life?
Oh, many, 100,000, really. And of course, there's the other thing is that you're wearing all those labels simultaneously. So who are you?
Exactly.
Exactly, because for me,
I think the core question, who are you at core, with all these these shades and levels are shed off. When you you begin to peel off all of these things, then who are you actually? Who are you truly at the core of you?
Yeah, I also believe that when you are a person, and to say that you are who you are and you have good intentions, so whatever the status or the titles or the name, you could be married to someone who has power in the world, like a world-known figure. But who are you as a person? Are you the same person when you were not married to that person, or you become something different? And this is where the ego comes in. So with these statuses and these titles and being married to someone who is known, does that change you as a person, or should that change you? Or should you be the person that you know that you are? Or will that change you to be somebody different? And these are the things that,
Well,
that one should
and that
consider.
is a core piece, is do you know who you are? That's what you were asking. Have you taken the time to reflect, to check in? What colors do I like? What food do I like? Have I been influenced by my family, my culture, my relationships, versus who is this being right here? And then, because I would say from my upbringing, that was not something we were taught. Maybe it was assumed you knew who you were, but really that reflection inward to check in. Who am I? What do I like? Who am I in the world?
And I believe that people are still trying to find themselves. There are a lot of people out there that don't still know who they are. They're finding they're still on their journey to find who they are, to find your purpose. And it's all about knowing and doing the things that you love. And I think that it will help you along your journey to discover who you are when you do the things that you feel happy about doing. Yeah. And that you're not forced to do things that you don't want to do. And that will help you discover who you are from within. And it's all about finding your inner peace and enjoying that moment and making sure that you're happy to do these things that you love. And that will help you discover who you really are.
I would even suggest that we're always on that mission. It's never complete until the day we die and beyond, and our energy transforms into whatever it's going to transform into. We're always changing and evolving, and we're happy and we're sad, and we're energized and we're not, because that's part of the cycles of life. And so it's about understanding. And also another thing I've noticed, and I'm sure some of you might identify with this, I'm a different person to different people I'm around. And I've noticed it in my relationships, in my romantic relationships, where certain characteristics come out on me when I'm with that person that I don't show with the relationship I'm in now. So am I that what I was, or am I that now? I just find that whenever I'm with different people, I have a different reaction and a different energy around them. So I think we're forever changing and evolving from second to second.
Yes,
Well,
Kathy.
Okay, so I'm not going to repeat it exactly like you said, so my apologies if I'm putting words in your mouth, but I think you said something to the effect of, I'm a different person around different people. Is that okay? So, and this is kind of switching gears, but in the climate that we live in, at least in the US, you have to be so politically correct. You have to be, I mean, it's like a landmine out there. And I mean, politics are such a hot topic. It's a hot mess. And everyone, or I mean, not I can't speak for everyone, but I would say that there's a large majority of people out there that are scared to death of being canceled. And so I mean, to your point, I think everybody kind of walks that tightrope these days, and
Well,
that I don't want to be that person, because I mean, I want to be who I am. So I become, I don't know. I just kind of step back. I'm polite, but I don't know. It's I think over here in the United States, it's a hotbed because of all the politics.
Well, I think it's also, we're in a patriarchal society where it hasn't been safe for women to speak their truth, to have their full self-expression, to live in certain areas of, we'll speak from the United States because that's where I live, that it's not okay to speak your truth or to go against your husband or your group or your church or whatever that is, versus what is true for you, which I think lends us into the hotbed topic that is happening here in the United States, which is the Supreme Court was leaked that Roe v. Wade may be overturned, which abortion may become illegal or not mandated by the federal government, which will activate in 26 states, that it also will not be legal to have an abortion. And I'd like to open up the conversation around choice, my body, who's making laws, what that looks like in, and how that's impacting the rest of the world. If yes, the day is open. Yes,
it's my body, it's my choice. Don't you dare try to tell me what to do with my body.
Hallelujah and amen. I agree. I agree with that. And no matter what your belief system is, your beliefs are your beliefs, and that is fantastic. You don't have to have an abortion, but don't take my choice, my body away. And that's how I feel also. Open to other points of view. Let's stir the pot.
Okay, for me, this is where I come in as somebody trying to advocate for the leadership, or for women and girls to get into leadership roles, because most of these rules or regulations, laws are made by people, and those people can always change those laws because it's a human thing. It's not set in stone. So if we can get enough women to sit at those tables that make these decisions that affect women, then those laws or decisions or rules and regulations would be more sympathetic to women, because women then have a voice and they would be there to argue how each law would affect them or their children. That is why I advocate for women to get into leadership roles. I advocate for what is called by the United Nations a 50-50 planet. For as long as we let one gender be the majority at those tables, we are always going to be on the side that these laws are made that do not benefit us, so to speak, including the laws to do with abortion and And a lot of laws that have been made against women. We have what is called institutionalized discrimination, which puts limits on the potential of women in so many walks of life. But if we can get women to be in those leadership roles, if we can get a 50% perspective on all the decisions that are being made at that table, only then will women have a chance to be who they really want to be, and to have laws, rules, and regulations made in their favor according to the perspective of women. But the female perspective is always missing at the leadership role.
We are running out of time. I just got notice. I don't know if you all are seeing in the chat, but we get to close out. I think, could we go around the table? One just bite-sized soundbite nugget that you could leave us with for today. That's our cliffhanger until our next week's episode. What do you got? Let's go around the horn, and we'll go backwards from what I see on my screen, which is Dr. Justina, Princess Dr. Desiree, Tracy, Amber J, Cathy, and Jenetta. Quickly.
I think as women, we need to realize that we are people and we have rights. We are both created by the same God, both man and woman, and we have to reach into ourselves and reassert ourselves in all those decisions that are made against us.
Thank you. We can't hear you.
You're muted. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Oh my goodness, this was such a great show today. I just want to say thank you to all of the women and men and everyone who are watching all over the world. Just to let you guys know that you are a powerful human being, and you are the person that is going to decide your own life, your own destiny. So never feel that you have to be manipulated to make choices in your life. Always feel good in your heart that you are born to do the things that you want to do, and don't feel that you have to do what others want you to do. Be yourself. Be you. There's only one you in the universe. So be you. All my love. Thank you.
Yes.
I always like to leave people, listeners, no matter who they are, with one little thing, because we never know who's listening or where they're at, whether they're hugely successful and looking for, more goals, or whether they're feeling really like they just really barely got out of bed this morning. So I always want to think about those people when we all talk about all our accomplishments. And sometimes we can, come off, people will see successes and they feel bad about themselves, and it's not always so positive. So I would like to leave it with, we didn't get this far to only get this far. And that goes out, to all of us who are being successful and moving forward, but especially to the people who are not feeling so successful today, because you really, truly, you didn't get this far to only get this far. Because all the stuff you've already dealt with in life, all the people who tried to bring you down, all the things you've gotten through to get where you are today, even if that's only, barely getting out of bed, you made it through that, and you didn't do all that to not, to let something else get you down. So you didn't get this far to only get this far. Wherever you're at, keep on going. Keep going. There's more out there, and you honestly never know. You never know what door is going to open if you show up.
And I would just say, take 5 minutes to reflect inward as to what your heart truly desires, as opposed to what society or culture or religion or relationships is asserting onto you. You know what's best for you. Cathy.
Well, I love this space in that for all of those that have joined us this week on today's show, I really hope that you will tune in next week at the same time. This is, like I said, it's a great space to be able to share your ideas and your thoughts, and you're not going to be bullied, and you're certainly not going to be canceled. Not if I have anything to do with it.
I would like to say that a forum like this has the capacity to help people to understand that when they feel fired up about their point of view being their truth, when we have a forum like this, it enables people to have the choice to step back and see all sides, because there are many facets to what's happening, and seeing the bigger picture on things, and that opens hearts. And I can't wait to do more of this. It's been such an honor and pleasure having all of you in this forum today and to be part of it.
Oh my gosh, I was backstage just thinking, I love these topics. I want to jump in there and be a part of it. You did such a fabulous job. And I love hearing all the different perspectives and learning new things as we come together as one from across the world. I think you're just fabulous, each and every one of you. Thank you for taking this time and for taking this opportunity to bring others into the fold as we lift each other up as women. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you next week, and we are at the same time. It's 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. British Summer Time, and 10 p.m. Central European Time. Do I get a prize? Is there anything? No. Okay.
Lots of kisses.
Oh my
We're
God!
impressed.
Thank you all so much.
All right. My best wishes to each and every one of you beautiful souls, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye,
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, goddesses.
Bye.